Hi, this is Kazarov.
During a speech at the Museum of the Bible in Washington, President Donald Trump boasted that violent crime in the Capitol had dropped by nearly 90% after he sent in the National Guard. He claimed the city was basically safe again. But then he pivoted to criticize what he described as unnecessary crime reporting. If a man has a little fight with the wife, they call it a crime, Trump said. The remark implied that domestic violence cases should not be treated as criminal incidents. Women's groups, law enforcement officials, and even some Republican lawmakers reacted immediately, condemning the idea as dangerous and dismissive. Experts stressed that domestic abuse is one of the most common and deadly forms of violence. They warned that undermining its seriousness could reverse decades of progress in protecting survivors and punishing abusers.
Here's the truth, guys. Hearing a president brush off domestic violence like it's nothing, that makes my blood boil. This isn't just bad politics, it's reckless. Domestic abuse isn't some minor family squabble. It's a crime, it destroys lives, and pretending it's a little fight is insulting to every survivor out there. Look, I get the angle. Trump wants to brag. He wants the headline, crime down 87%. Sounds amazing, right? But when you erase domestic violence from the stats to make yourself look good, you are not solving crime, you are hiding it, and you are telling victims they don't matter. That's not leadership, that's denial. Domestic violence is lethal. Every week people die from it. Millions live in fear inside their own homes. It's not some background noise. To downplay that because it messes up your talking point, that's cowardice. As a centrist, I can say this: yes, show strength on crime. Yes, protect communities. But true strength means defending the vulnerable, not ignoring them. Imagine telling your daughter, your sister, your friend, sorry, your bruises don't count. It's just politics. That's what this logic leads to. We don't get safer by erasing crimes from the ledger. We get safer by confronting them, by supporting victims, by holding abusers accountable. That's what real toughness looks like. Not flexing numbers, not minimizing pain. So, my take is simple. Leaders who shrug at domestic violence have no business calling themselves defenders of public safety. You can't claim to make America safer while turning your back on the people most at risk. That's not strength, it's betrayal.
The controversy intensified over the following days. Advocacy groups accused the administration of trivializing a serious threat. Editorial boards described Trump's comments as archaic and dangerously dismissive. Lawmakers from both parties demanded clarification, pointing out that domestic abuse is one of the most underreported crimes in the country. Statistics show that more than 1 in 3 women experience domestic violence in their lifetimes, yet fewer than half ever report it. Critics noted that the Trump administration had already rolled back federal definitions of abuse and reduced funding for shelters and survivor programs. They warned that rhetoric suggesting abuse is a lesser offense could embolden perpetrators and silence victims further. The White House insisted the president was misinterpreted, but the damage was done. The remarks sparked national outrage and fresh calls for stronger protections against gender-based violence.
Let me just be crystal clear. You don't play politics with domestic violence. You don't call it a little fight or a lesser offense. That's not nuance. That's dangerous ignorance. This is one of those issues where there is no gray area. Either you protect victims or you abandon them. We fought for decades to drag domestic abuse out of the shadows. It used to be dismissed as private business, and people suffered in silence. Finally, laws caught up. Finally, society admitted abuse at home is a crime and it deserves justice. Now a president shrugs and suggests rolling that back. That's outrageous. Think about the signal it sends. Survivors already doubt themselves. They already hear voices telling them nobody will believe you. Now the most powerful man in the country reinforces that message. That's not just tone deaf, it's enabling. Abusers hear it too. They feel validated. They feel untouchable. That ripple effect is terrifying. I don't care about political spin here. I don't care if crime numbers look better on a chart. What matters is reality. Millions live with abuse. Children grow up traumatized and lives are destroyed. Leaders should shine light on that, not shove it back into darkness. As a centrist, I'll say crime stats matter, sure, but human dignity matters more. Public safety isn't only about streets, it's also about homes. If people aren't safe in their own homes, you failed as a leader. So, yeah, this one's not complicated. Domestic violence is a crime. Full stop. Anyone who says otherwise is wrong. And if you are president, wrong on this means you are failing the people who need you most.
What might be more surprising is how closely Trump's view of the prerogatives and entitlements of abusive husbands towards their abused wives mirror his own sense of his prerogatives and entitlements as president towards his abused country. Throughout his second term, Trump has spoken of the 2024 election in terms similar to the way that Hale spoke of the marriage vow as an irrevocable grant of total power. He believes, he says, that because he won the 2024 election, that there are now no more rights that Americans have that he must respect, that he can discard the will of Congress, fire civil servants at will, kidnap our neighbors, and invade our cities. These are not the gestures of a leader who respects his people and seeks to serve them. Just as Hale's vision of marriage is not one in which a husband respects his wife as an equal and seeks to love her. The model is not of partnership, but of domination. This time, it is America herself who is taking the beating.